All right, everybody, I'm with one of my favorite fighters. I think, man, this guy, he put all his heart into it, man, and, you got to be admired by that, man. So, Shawn Porter, how you doing?
I'm great, man. Dallas has treated me wonderful. Everybody rolled out the red carpet for me. Everybody in the promotion for me to do my thing with the Porterway podcast. And then the fans and everybody out here, the love has been amazing.
Man, so, the welterweight division, especially back in the 80s, right, when you had Duran, Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, but then we fast forward almost 30 years. You're part of this gauntlet. You were part of that gauntlet of all these welterweights. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think that in this last era of boxing and the welterweight division, especially when you include myself, all of us practically grew up doing this sport. All of us practically grew up doing it together. You know what I mean? So I think now's it's a prime time for the welterweight division because nobody's missing anything. Everybody's got experience, both amateur and pro. Everybody's got speed. Everybody's got power. Everybody's got great corners. I mean, the list goes on. And so I think that's why the resurgence of the welterweight division is what it is now because of those keys right there.
So growing up, who were some of your favorite fighters, like growing up for you?
It was Marvelous Marvin Hagler for me. I feel like he's the complete boxer. To me, when you say if you had a chance to pick out one person and say this is what boxing is, in my opinion, you'd be picking out Marvelous Marvin Hagler and saying this is what boxing is.
So would that be your dream fight, or what would be your dream fight?
No, that's not my dream fight.
So what's your dream fight?
That's Marvelous is the one I always aspired to be like. You know what I mean? I think I got pretty close. Yeah. I would say that, I think that this probably goes under the radar, but the fight I always thought would be very fun for fans would be myself and Timothy Bradley.
Yes.
I always thought that was kind of, I felt like that fight might happen, and it never did. So I think if it was one fight I could wish have happened, it would have been myself versus Tim Bradley.
Okay, so when you think about outside of your other favorite, like Marvin Hagler, is there anybody that comes to mind that you consider underrated as a boxer that a lot of people may not appreciate?
I think avid boxing fans really appreciate Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
But not today. People are talking about Floyd Mayweather. Of course, they're talking about Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson, of course, Muhammad Ali. I believe that Marvelous Marvin Hagler is usually at the bottom of that list, and I think that he should be at the top of that list.
All right, so, you've had experience fighting a guy tonight, Spence. And to me personally,
both guys.
As a person, both guys. And to me personally, especially in the Spence fight, I felt like that fight was a draw.
Yeah.
Very close to me, but tonight's fight, you got Ugas versus Spence. What do you see and what do you like?
I do. I think that this fight is going to be just as exciting as my fight with Errol Spence. I think that, I'm really curious to see what versions of both these fighters we get in the ring tonight, Errol looks great, he sounds great, and he says that he's good. I believe it, but we got to see that play out, you know what I mean? And then Ugas, who came to the ring completely different against Manny Pacquiao than he's ever come before, ever. I'm really curious to see what fighters come to the ring tonight. However, with that being said, I do think that it's going to be action-packed and exciting from beginning to end.
So, I noticed one thing about you in your career that it stood out to me was the fact that you were able to articulate very well on the mic, which means you got a podcast.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about your podcast real quick?
Porterway Podcast. We started the Porterway Podcast in 2020 while the pandemic was happening. I was having tons of fun on the Inside PBC Boxing Show, and I actually got the equipment thinking that we would go virtual like I had been seeing ESPN do and all of these other shows. Once they told us that the PBC Boxing Show was no more, I was like, man, I got all this equipment. I've been thinking about doing the podcast for a little while. Let's go. And I called up my guys who you see on the show now, Carson and Ant, and now adding Shawn to the game. I said, before Shawn was on the game, I said, hey, this is what I want to do, what you guys think. And they said, let's go. You know what I mean? So here we are, I think we're almost a year and a half in. And everybody's been really receptive to the podcast, to what I want to do with it, and man, we brought it down here this weekend, and it's been fantastic for the way.
All right, last question. So, I talk about video games, and it's interesting because I'm pretty sure that you would love to have the opportunity to be on a video game.
Yeah.
Would you want to be on the video game?
ESBC. They're coming out with a game soon.
Yeah, the esports video game.
Yes, sir. I had an opportunity to play the game.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of fun.
So,
and these guys are moving like we see them move on fight night.
So you're going to be on the game.
It's pretty
so I get
cool.
a chance to get showtime.
I just got scanned about 2 weeks ago now. Wow. And yes, I'm signed to be on that game.
All right. Well, Showtime, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing everything what you done for the culture of boxing. Not only just the culture, but in life, man. You're an inspiration to all of us, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, bro.
I want to be, all of this to the culture of boxing and to our culture in general, and also the culture of young people. You know what I mean? I want to show young people out there that, if you put your mind on something and you focus on it, you go for it, you can do it.
I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's easy.